Hi, I'm Dr. Jessica Shepard, a board-certified OBGYN, and many of the topics that I discuss with my patients in the exam room have to do with their genital health and also with their pelvic health. So
All right. Oh, I hope this isn't too loud. Somebody can let me know if it is. I am currently hiding out in my oldest daughter's room so I can have a little quiet, but to me the mic sounds too loud, so I can turn it down. Hello, Catoosa. This is your infamous admin, Connie Bueller, and I'm moving stuff around so I can be a little bit more comfortable here. I thought it might be interesting to go over this Catoosa Unified Development Code. It is going to be voted on in February, and they've already had one public meeting, open house about it, and the next one is going to be on Wednesday. Let me get in here. I hope this works. I want to double check to see if I can watch it. Let's see. I don't think it'll mess up anything if I can monitor. Okay, I can hear myself on that. Just want to go over what you guys can see. This format makes it really short looking. Guess that's what I get. Alright, so basically I got the code on screen. The City of Catoosa created a comprehensive plan a couple years ago, actually a few years now, and this code is supposed to go hand in hand with it. I really am just going over it. I tried to listen to it by having I haven't got to actually read it, so I thought, well, if I'm gonna read it, then I can go on live and read through it, and other people can join me if they want to. I don't know how long I'll be on. I don't plan on being on longer than 30 minutes to an hour. I don't know how far I'll get. I actually tried to listen to it with a PDF reader, and I got to about page 50, but I think I can skip through kind of just the ins and outs. I mean, just the general information that's listed. I'm on the first page here, the table of contents. Let's see. I'm gonna kind of ramble a little bit just to see if anybody is gonna get on here. Depending on the meetings Wednesday, city council meetings tomorrow night, I'm gonna try to go through the whole thing, but I'm not gonna do it in one fell swoop. I would probably do a few lives, and then I will take the lives and download them to YouTube. And if you would like, I'd have to check. Let me look really quick. I'm going to the Catoosa website real quick to look at something. Okay, the Comprehensive Plan 2025. If you go to the cityofcatoosa.org, you can go to the Comprehensive Plan under Community Development. It says under Departments, under Community Development, there's the Comprehensive Plan. Let me see if I can do this. Well, let me flip it. I'm learning this as I go. I've never done a live with the screen share on Facebook. And so okay, there it goes. I am trying to figure this out. Let's see. So this is on the City of Catoosa.org. This is the city's website. It's the comprehensive plan is the Catoosa City Council approved an agreement between the City of Catoosa and Place Strategies, Inc. for the purpose of creating a new comprehensive plan, Unified Development Code, and Downtown Master Plan. We are currently seeking your feedback online here. Plan Catoosa, which I don't think that link works anymore. Yeah, that link don't work anymore. Because it's over. They've already created the comprehensive plan. So, I'm going to have me a lot of tabs open by the end of the night. So let's kind of glance through the comprehensive plan. It says April of 2023. Let's see. Some pictures of Catoosa. A community vision that every resident can get behind. Let's see. And you can glance through this if you want. A plan for action kind of goes over at the time who was in the city council and on the planning commission. Mayor's letter. Let's see, come on. Let's see. Had an advisory committee. Events. These are my Dell here is kind of slow. Come on. Okay, they had planning events where they invited the people out to brainstorm, say what they wanted in the city, talk about things. Okay, let's see. Activations were arranged to be informal events where information could be shared. So they had these workshops and events to kind of go over. They had social media engagement, impressions. It's kind of a rundown of how they engaged with the community about this. Here's their timeline. Of what they did. But anyway, so this was all back. Let's see, when did it start? Council work session, tree lighting ceremony, December of 2021. And then they had public hearings for the adoption. So the comprehensive plan came before this Unified Development Code. There's more pinpointing of, let's see, it says top categories of what people want to focus on in Catoosa was road widening, trails, shops, blue whale, coffee shops in downtown and restaurants. Let's see. You guys can read through some of this. There's just some comments, I guess, that were made. Enforcing codes. We'd like a commercial district. Soccer complex investment. Blue well, usable areas. We'd like a commercial district. Let's see, guiding principles. Okay, so, but basically the comprehensive plan is supposed to give the city a plan of future growth and what it wants to look like, and then they break down like what it's going to be, what they want to see, and community involvement was important in this. And I did go to some of the meetings myself to learn about, you know, what was going on and what they were hoping for. Let's see. I've read through this before, and it's been a minute, so I don't remember everything. Plan Catoosa Comprehensive Plan's Land Use and Development chapter will examine the existing planning and community vision through a new future land use plan, FLUP. The FLUP will help guide development by organizing future zoning decisions and public improvements to build a better quality of life. The FLUP is implemented through the FLUP is implemented through the zoning ordinance and enforced through individual districts such as residential and commercial. The development market continues to fluctuate and move rapidly. The findings and materials and shall flow the Catoosa managing growth. Catoosa will continue to experience growth, and activity planning for this growth will help the community better integrate with existing neighborhoods. So Catoosa will continue to experience growth. Yes, we're growing. And actively planning for this growth will help community better integrate with existing neighborhoods. So the growth and the existing neighborhoods, that's what a comprehensive plan should be. Predict the growth, see what's going to happen in the future, and plan the city around making that an easier thing to accomplish. Sorry if I get my words all flubbed. I tend to do that when I'm talking. I'm better at writing. I'm better at sitting and thinking about what I want to say. That's why I do like Facebook so much more than just blah 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 blah. And I will do that, and I will start to ramble, so forgive me. Let's see. Preserving existing fabric. Say Catoosa's existing neighborhoods. I wonder if it would help if maybe I zoomed in a little bit. Let's see. Sorry for you guys on phones. I'm looking at it on my phone and it's tiny. So let me see if this helps. I should be able to move this around a little bit. Building unique identity. Towns with unique identities have an advantage in marketing and attracting residents. Community engagement. Expanding the engagement with the residents and businesses in the community create better decisions and outcomes in public policy. All right. Then it goes into details about the current land use. They show, you know, what's going on with the areas of town that are already around, like the high school. Here's the current plan. They have a map of the city and highlighted areas. Like the yellow is residential, multifamily, is the apartment complexes or other multifamily places. Commercials in red. Offices are in pink. Industrial, I guess, is gray. It's kind of hard to tell on my computer. It looks white, but I think it's gray. Public and quasi-public is blue. So I guess I'm trying to see it on my little screen. Recreational parks is in green, which I don't know if did they even put any on here? I don't see any green on here. And this is the INCOG map. Okay, so INCOG planned this July 2001. And that was the land use at the time. So back all the way to 2001. Old Town is different. Old Town in Catoosa was established differently, prioritizing walking and proximity. As a result, the infrastructure and lots in the original town also different from common standards. Due to historical and cultural significance, new development or redevelopment with this area is much different from new development in other locations. So basically, you can go over the comprehensive plan. Basically, the Unified Development Code that we're working on now, or the city is working on now, that this, I personally believe, and I will try to be, my personal opinions, I'm not going to try to give them like freely or go into what I feel. I really just am trying to share information right now. If you want to go on one-on-one with me and PM me, that's fine. But this comprehensive plan, the Unified Development Code is supposed to basically set a framework to make this comprehensive plan happen. And so they have set the city up in districts, and they have named the districts, and so those districts are going to basically, how they plan each district is kind of going to what they're going to be pointing towards how to develop that. So here's a kind of a districts map of what, let me zoom out a little bit, what the city, what they plan for the city. And just from what I understand, and if I'm completely wrong, I'm completely wrong. Just the feeling I get, and that's what I'll say, the feeling I get from things, and I will try to say that in my opinion or the feeling I think, and if I'm wrong, like, then I just don't have all the information. And that happens when you're learning about things and there's a lot of information, you know, you're kind of overwhelmed until you really get down in the nitty-gritty and you start learning things and piecing things together, and you just kind of go from where you're at and try to figure it out as you go along, if you're interested in figuring it out as you go along. I mean, most people, they just want surface information and they don't want to dig down and find out what's going on, and that's fine. People got lives to live, and I understand that just from being admin. Like, you can give information to people, but that doesn't mean they're gonna dig in and find out what you know and understand it as much as you do or not do. I mean, you just hope that people, you know, care enough. And it's okay if you don't. A lot of people can't. They don't have time. Their lives are so busy, and they're just trying to make it day to day, and I get that. And I've just always been driven to, I've always been a type of person, I just want to know everything about everything, what's going on, and you know, I want to know what's going on in the world around me. I want to know what people who are over the positions that they're elected or hired to be into, I want to know what their ideas are and how they're going to affect me. So they have come up with this color-coded map of our city, and they've divided it into districts. The pink, come on. Let's see. That's the valley. This light pink up here in this area. And this right here, this black line all around the city, this is the city limits. Or the city, what are they? The fence line, or they call it. Let's see, let's see what this, so this right here, this area, that's the valley. They've named this area right here, this area right here, they've named that the cottages. Over here in the green, let's see, that would be the trails. Spunky Creek is this light blue. This yellow is called Old Town, and that goes all the way to the high school, McNabb. Let's see, Entertainment District is the casino and Walmart. Rolling Hills is the Hills. West Catoosa, they're just West Catoosa. I guess they don't get a fun name. And then the Woods is all back in here. Woodcrest area, and that orange, that's the Industries. Let's see. So this is their overall encompassing way they want to lay out Catoosa and divide it into districts. And that will be reflected in the Unified Development Code. If you want to read through it, talks about each district and what they want it to look like, how they want to develop it. Let's see. And again, this thing was done in 2023. It's 2026 now, and I know that, like, we've had changes in leadership, we've had changes in the council, so I'm not sure personally, like, I think that's what I meant to say earlier, I'm not sure personally how set in stone every single thing is. I mean, it's really, I would think, I would hope that, you know, it's up to the landowners and what they want to see, and how the city works with them, which I'm not saying they don't. I think the city is really open to new developments and housing, especially housing, and other situations that have just gotten in the way, and the city really didn't have anything to do with if they're built or not at the moment. I mean, we're getting a Case and Associates apartment complex, so we're going to be getting an influx of people here in the next couple of years or so. So, higher intensity areas. There's the entertainment area. I just want to point out something I thought was funny about this area. Is this in the area? Let's see. Transportation opportunities. So they zoomed in here. High intensity areas. We know where all that is. The hills. Go in and read what they think about Rolling Hills. Oh, I know this. I wonder if she knows her houses in this thing. Let's see. Creating stronger connections down Admiral and County Line Road will provide better access to the neighborhood. In addition to the geographic separation, a focus on everyday essentials for the neighborhood, such as parks, limited grocery stores, and connections to schools should be a focus. Let's see. So the challenge is this neighborhood, our little neighborhood here, doesn't feel connected to the rest of the city, and they want to make that better. I'm pretty sure that would help if we had the sidewalks that we need. Let's see, what is that? Oh, just a breakdown. Higher intensity areas is, of course, the businesses along Animal. Let me see, 190. Okay, that's confusing for a second, but yeah, that's happening. There's Admiral. Okay, yeah. There's our little neighborhood. I know you guys are just enjoying me ranting, but okay. I've already talked for 28 minutes, Omer. Okay. Industry areas, Old Town, opportunities, and I think a lot of people I've talked to are kind of bummed out that we don't have that old downtown feeling like a lot of the cities around us do, like Claremore and Skytook, and even Broken Arrow's got their downtown now, and they've worked hard at it to make it what it is, and it's a cool place to be, and I know some people in the city desire that, but do we have the people that want to support that kind of downtown? I don't know. I guess time will tell. Spunky Creek. A lot about the neighborhoods is trying to get connectivity. Let's see. This district has established residential neighborhood that would benefit from hiking and biking trails for recreation use and safe connection to the city's core. Which we can get into the trail system here in a little bit, because they actually talk about that. There's the trails. Where's that map? Basically, the city is going to connect Roger Berry, the soccer fields, to the Whale, to Rogers Point. And they are currently working on that. Let's see, there's just talked about the Blue Whale. Let's see, the Valley. West Catoosa. Sorry, I didn't mean to spend so much time on the comprehensive plan, but I just wanted to give you guys an idea that this Unified Development Code is, the comprehensive plan was the first step. The Unified Development Code is the second step. So, okay, here's the zoning ordinance. Let's see, what was this titled? Capital. Applicability. Let's see, capital. Let's see. The zoning ordinance. This document is the main regulatory code that enforces the community vision by providing development regulations such as setbacks, uses, parking minimums, and other standards. Each experienced district evaluates the intensity of land use through the 3 different residential, commercial, and industrial categories. Okay. So they create these zoning ordinances, these codes, that if someone wants to develop in one of these areas, one of these districts, then they'll have to go in and the city will explain to them, like, how far, like, how many houses to, like, the size of the lots, how far back they have to be from the road, what size roads are going to be put in a neighborhood. I mean, that's basically, that. And then, how tall the houses can be, and if it's a business area, like where your signs can go and how tall they can be, stuff like that. If you just don't know if you're wondering what even the code is even about. The subdivision code. This documents regulatory code that enforces land development rules, what infrastructure services are used to support individual properties before building or construction. Municipal fence line, annexation planning, and coordination with unincorporated areas around Catoosa can be accomplished with partnership with the county. While not all of the comprehensive plan area has zoning authority, planning for it allows to think ahead on appropriate development before there is a need. This also allows us to better apply to the applicable regulations such as subdivision code. Quality of life, economic development, better parks and trails, Old Town Master Plan. I'm not going to go into the different plans of each section. Because they just break it down more, what everything is, what they hope to see. What Cherokee Street could look like, I guess. Let's see. It kind of says like what the goals are, what to look forward to. Old Town would be a place where it would be more walkable. Like they're trying to create a downtown environment where you can walk around, less street traffic, I guess. More shops and things to walk around to. Places to do things with your family. So it'd be like apartment building. Let me see my screen. Be like an apartment building with a cafe, walkway area, parking, and then a two-way street, basically. What you see in a lot of the downtowns these days that have been fixed up. See, they took this drawing of Helen Paul and then they added down here an area where it looks like this is just like a I guess a vision board drawing of what it could be. And there's basically this shopping area right here at the end of Helen Paul. And I'm not saying they could even do this right now because the school owns that. But it's just like, oh, what could it be, you know? Let's see, concept for Cherokee in front of Helen Paul Learning Center, adaptive reuse. Reuse of the Helen Paul Learning Center into a maker space and mixed-use development. Streamline for new school to promote walkability. And create additional street grid to fit more buildings and current underutilized parcels. So there's Helen Paul, and then like all around Helen Paul they basically like built it up and put a street in, and there's the gazebo. So let's see. So basically, like, Old Town be a place that you could live and walk around and never have to use a car. If you worked down there and lived down there, and you had elementary age children, then you would never have to get in a vehicle. So let's see. Town core. I'm going to go through all the details. Go into streets. Major streets and highway plan, trail plan, map 10. Okay, where's the trails? Let's see. On street trail, off street trail are the pink lines. I'm trying to read it myself. It's kind of... Here we go. Freeway expressways, primary arterials, Route 66, secondary arterials, the green ones, residential, the small line, commercial, dotted lines. Oh, I see them. County lines. Okay, I see that. Alright. On-street trail and an off-street trail. So these pink lines are the trails. So we have a trail next to the Port Road. A trail going along the Verdigris. And I heard one time that the county wants to connect Claremore to Catoosa by a trail. I don't know if that's still in the plan or not. I haven't heard recently. A trail along 66. And then if you look here, there's a trail down to, let's see, okay, let's see, proposed, what is that? Proposed creek? I guess it says creek. So they've got a trail basically to Admiral, looks like. No, around. Okay. Let me look at this. Okay, that's 412. Okay. Gotta read my map better. Basically, they want to have a trail starting here at Rogers Point and then going, you can go up 66 and then cut back here. Where is, okay, Rogers Point. So you can get basically from the soccer fields all the way to Rogers Point. But then they've got all these trails around here. Take a trail around Redbud. Take a trail down Pine. Take a trail down Tiger Switch. So some of this code, some of this planning includes all these trail systems. So yeah, they're planning for a lot of walkability. And you see they also do expand outside the city limits, because this little thin red line here is the city limits. So this is kind of, I guess, maybe it's a part of Rogers County plans in the future too, because yeah, mobility plans, so let's see, oh yeah, basically how they want the streets, future street design: trees, sidewalks, cars, let's see, there was something I didn't, where is it? When I first read through it, I kind of something that was just like, it's probably not. I mean, we're in Oklahoma. Our cities are all spread out. We spread out. But if you notice Tulsa, you know, they're putting in all the bike systems and everything. Same with Broken Arrow. They're making these areas more walkable, or be able to ride bikes, and but they're limiting in doing that, though. They're not adding sidewalks, they're limiting vehicle movement. And I won't get into the current state of comprehensive plans in America, but maybe another live I'll do that. Catoosa Park System is a good place compared to its population and needs, but not everyone in the city has easy access to parks, and limited trail access diminishes this access even more. So they kind of give a rundown of benchmarks, I guess. Residents less than 20,000 existing. You need at least the benchmark in 2020. Oh, look, 20. Okay. The benchmark for a population of under 20,000 should be 6.5 parks and 99.8 acres. Catoosa is beating that already because we have 7 parks and 147 acres of park. US DOT planned trails. So as far as we're exceeding what we need for the benchmarks that the National Recreation and Park Association. So their plans for cities and their benchmarks compared to what we already have. The NRPA. Okay, so it's 10:45. Looks like I'm gonna have to go a little bit longer. Anyway, it kind of goes over our parks, the plans for they have for the parks. They hope for, I guess. Oh, is that a different trail? I guess there is another trail map they want. Off-street, on-street trails. All these, this always was interesting to me, like all these trails back around in here, and I'm thinking, who owns all this? Out behind the Blue Whale and between 66 and, is that Tiger Switch? I don't know. Like, who owns all that? Do they want trails on their land? Riparian buffers. Yeah, riparian buffers. These buffers should be established along the Verdigris River, Spunky Creek, and any valley storage lakes and ponds in development plans. These buffers can allow public access to waterways by providing light impact installations of docks, walkways, or boardwalks along the edges of the floodplain. So if you own land on a waterway in Rogers County, I would look into riparian buffers. That's all I'm going to say about that right now. Oh, the View 66 Gateway Trail. Yeah, there's part of the trail they're talking about. Molly's. Let's see, Rogers Point. Oh, they call it the City Trail, is the purple. So, Roger Berry. Looks like it goes up behind Reesers. Waterfront. What? View 66 Lake Waterfront Grill. Downtown Core. Wonder what that is. Oh, here's another detailed trail plan. Future existing neighborhoods, Loop B, Loop C. Okay. So are we almost there? We're almost there. Implementation action plan. So I'm skimming through this real quick. Okay. So the general strategies, doing amendments. Coordinate annual meetings with partner agencies. Alright, let's see. Okay, short-term strategies. Create or update, adopt development regulations to align with the goals and outcomes of this plan. Catoosa Comprehensive Plan. Zoning, use development, and subdivision land development code. Updating as needed for adoption. That's high on the list. Engineering design, criteria manual, infrastructure specifications, update as needed. Capital improvement plan, infrastructure budget, updated annually. Parks and Trail improvement plan. Economic development plan. Coordinate the development of Old Town Master Plan, focusing on improvements which will catalyze or work in conjunction with private development, public-private partnerships. Develop a brand and identity, a program that links all public facilities into a common brand, color scheme, and material palette. Let's see. Support ODOT on the design of Route 66 Pine Street expansion and other highway projects by identifying programmed wayfinding and branding inclusion development. Begin first phase of the View 66 Gateway Trail catalytic project by implementing appropriate crossings and trail connections within control of the city. Coordinate connections and improvements as a part of active development projects. ODOT, Rogers County, Planning and Engineering, City Manager, and developers. So they're actively working on getting the first part of that trail started. And it's in my notes somewhere, like where that's at, from going to the city council meeting. Okay. So we're almost done going through this. Midterm strategies. You guys can go through those. A lot of this is getting the streets where they want them. Coming back through this, like a lot of this is ODOT. So, if you haven't read the comprehensive plan, that is what the Unified Development Code. Oh, here's the district zoning matrix addendum. Ag, residential, I don't remember what all the plan, Catoosa Comprehensive Plan. Okay, that's it. Okay, so I went through that, and I didn't plan on it, but I was like, oh, that's kind of important to this, because this document right here started what we're facing today. Okay, that one I can get rid of. Oops, where are we going? Did I already get rid of it? Oh, there it is. Okay, share this tab. And let's see. Oh, they put a map here. Let me see this real quick. Is it the same one? Incog, the Indian. No. What is it? Council of Governments. Indian Nations Council of Governments. I think that's what it is. Oh, this is very detailed, and it's going to be hard to see on here. So I won't put you through that. I'm going to go back to the code real quick. Oh, error. Why error? Did I hit the wrong link? Probably. Hold on, I'm having some technical difficulties. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm looking for my link. Here it is. You guys are stuck on that one. Here's the draft. Share this tab. Okay, I'm gonna go just a little bit longer, and I probably will stop to save the video. And after tomorrow, wait, what's today? Today's Monday. Yes, today's Monday, and then we have Tuesday. I can start up again. So basically, we'll just kind of go through the first part of it. Here's your current city council, who's on the planning commission. Josh Brown and Jody King are city staff listed. Title, adoption, and citation. I really thought about I don't want to do it anymore, having AI read through this and then pausing and talking about things as we go, but that's going to take like way too long. Basically, this code is in pursuance of the authority granted by the legislature of the state of Oklahoma in Title 11, Section 43-101 of the Oklahoma statute, shall be known as the City of Catoosa Unified Development Code and may be cited as such. These regulations were originally adopted on September 20th of 1971 and are amended herein as herein stated. This is all X'd out here because they have not adopted it yet. After the meetings and any revisions they feel they need to make, then they will vote for this in February. That divides the city into zoning districts and establishes regulations which regulate the height, number of stories, size of buildings and other structures, the size of yards, courts, and other open spaces, the density of population, and the location and use of buildings, structures, and land for trade, industry, residence, and other purposes. This code shall not be interpreted to prevent the application of and adherence to other appropriate city codes. Valid interpretation. validity of other laws, where this code imposes a greater restriction upon the use of structures or land, or upon height or bulk of structures, or requires larger open spaces or yards than are imposed by other ordinances, laws, or regulations, the provision of this code shall govern. So that just means, like, if there's already a law on the books, be it from like a county code or law or something, then if this one imposes a greater restriction, then this governs that decision. This supersedes that previous ordinance or law or regulation. However, nothing in this code shall be construed to prevent the enforcement of other ordinances. The provisions in this code provided for the residential use of property and providing for limitations of occupancy, density, and intensity of uses shall be applied equally without discrimination. In case any portion of this code shall be invalid or unconstitutional, ding ding ding, as declared by a court of competent jurisdiction, which who gets to decide if the court of who is competent in jurisdiction, the remainder of the code shall not thereby be invalid, but shall remain in full force and effect. So it's saying, like, if there's a portion of the code that, oh no, it's unconstitutional, then the rest of the code still applies. That's what it says. So if for some reason the city decides that the police department can come sleep in your room, wait, does that count, or is that just military? I don't know. I don't want to say that. Anyway, they can't, if there's something in there that encroaches on your rights, that doesn't mean the rest of it isn't valid. So anyway, I'm trying to think of a good example and I just failed that, so sorry. Let's see. Alright. Tense and definitions. For the purpose, these regulations are interpreted to define Article 9. So Article 9 has the definitions of the words that are used. Let's see. Words in the present tense shall be included in the future tenses, blah blah blah. This is just like how it's read legally. Inconsistency between graphics and text. Proposed sentence. Zoning. The regulations contained herein are necessarily and are established for the purpose of promoting the health, safety, convenience, morals, prosperity, order, and general welfare of the community. Who is the community? We the people. To provide for adequate and convenient open spaces for transportation, vehicular parking, utilities, access for emergency vehicles. Let me zoom in some of this because I know I can't read it on my phone. So this document is to provide for what it says to provide. Application of these regulations seek to encourage the development of community in accordance with the comprehensive plan. So there's where it links to the comprehensive plan. The codes and the comprehensive plan go hand in hand. Let's see. Subdivision to provide measures and standards to facilities. To facilitate the sustainable physical development of the incorporated areas of Catoosa, Oklahoma in accordance with the adopted comprehensive plan and adopt major street and highway plan, the adopted design criteria for stormwater, erosion control, streets, water and sewer, and all related regulations and requirements of Catoosa, Oklahoma, to harmoniously relate the development of the various tracts of land to the existing development and facilitate the future development of adjoining tracts. To provide the most beneficial relationship between uses of land, buildings, and circulation of traffic throughout the city, having particular regard to avoidance of congestion in the streets and highways and the pedestrian traffic movements appropriate to the various uses of land and buildings, and to provide for the proper location of and width of streets and building lines. More about how things are supposed to be laid out in the city. Process for, establish subdivision processes. To provide those costs of improvements which primarily benefit the tract of land being developed be borne by the owners or developers of the tract, and those costs of improvements which primarily benefit the city as a whole be borne by the city, and to establish adequate and accurate records of land of subdivision. Signage is talked about more later, but basically how they get to dictate where your signs go, what they look like, what they can and cannot do. Landscape, to implement the comprehensive plan to promote the beautification of the city of Catoosa and contribute to the quality of life by maintaining compatible relationships between uses, promoting reasonable preservation and replenishment of valued trees and vegetation, aiding in establishing the ecological balance by contributing to air purification, oxygen regeneration, groundwater recharge, and stormwater runoff mitigation. Developing and maintaining a meaningful urban forest while permitting economically feasible urban development to occur. I'm slurring my words now. I'm getting tired. Let's see. The application service. So, the regulations encourage the development of the community in accordance with the comprehensive plan. Let's see. It's 11:05. I really did not mean to be on this long, but okay. This section is intended to clarify the status of properties with pending applications, recent approvals, or outstanding violations as those terms are used below. So this kind of goes in to let's see. Talk about what is non-conforming, like if there's already a non-conform, like if this plan is enacted, then there's going to be non-conforming entities. There's non-conforming homes or businesses or signs. It goes into how that's handled versus what it is now versus what it is when it's passed. As I understand it, I'm going to say that again. As I understand it, people have pending applications already waiting for like permit approvals and stuff like that. Let's see. Sorry, I'm having to reread through this a little bit. Reclassifying. Okay, here's the zones, the previous zoning categories, and then how they're going to be classified and what their land designation is. So if it's ag now, it'll be ag agriculture and it'll be residential low. Then residential, rural residential, residential low. So if you don't know what these mean, these are like the land areas and what they're designated for. Say you own 20 acres or 30 or 40, whatever, and you decide, oh, I want to build 4 houses, then you would have to go get it rezoned from agriculture to So that's what it's just saying, what they used to be called versus what they're going to be called now. As I understand it, there's my caveat. As I understand it. Let's see. City Council, their responsibilities and their powers, the Planning Commission and what they do. The Board of Adjustments, what they do. Basically, who makes decisions about these codes and how they're implemented. Administrator. I'm not going to read all those. Let's see. Historic Preservation Commission, reserved for future use. So they don't have that listed yet. Review procedures. How they review the applications. I'm not going to get into how they do the application stuff. That's for the people that are actually applying. They have to learn that. Oh, let's see. Applications. Okay, more application stuff. Applicant. Public notice. Okay, so this is kind of what's, those yellow signs you'll see pop up every once in a while, and it says there's going to be a meeting about this. This is what the regulations are for notifying the public for a zoning change. That's all over, because that's what kind of clued in all those people about the rezoning out there south of us, about Fair Oaks and the data centers and all that. I kind of want to go off on a little not a tangent, but just a caveat. City of Catoosa, the only thing in Wagner County the City of Catoosa has that's south of I-44 is Rolling Hills. If you look on the city map, it just grabs Rolling Hills because Rolling Hills asked the city to annex them a long time ago. Tulsa has annexed all around us, and you can look at the map. Fair Oaks, the data center, all that is not in Catoosa's jurisdiction, and there's a lot of confusion about that. They are in the city of Catoosa is a lot smaller than the Catoosa public school jurisdiction. Their district is huge compared to the city of Catoosa city limits. Rolling Hills is in the city limits. What's around Rolling Hills, Tulsa has claimed, or it's unincorporated. And Fair Oaks was actually, I don't know, did they incorporate? I looked that up one time, I think, but I'm not going to go on, but a lot of people are getting a misunderstanding of what Catoosa has to do with the Fair Oaks project and the data center. They don't. As far as I understand it, they don't. The city of Tulsa has annexed that area. They claim it, and they're the ones that have a say, and that's why people have to go to the city of Tulsa meetings about these public notice signs they see. It has nothing to do with the city of Catoosa. They don't have jurisdiction there. That means that they don't have a say. So, and there's a lot of confusion about that because it's Catoosa Public Schools. I don't know if I don't know where the mail goes around Catoosa. I mean, my mail is in Tulsa because I used to be in our neighborhood used to be unincorporated. If Catoosa hadn't annexed our neighborhood, Tulsa probably would have grabbed it when they started annexing around us. So that's how I understand it. Let's see. So this is how they are supposed to notify the public. Written notice to the property owners with 300 feet. So if somebody wants to say, take that land they have and build the houses, they have to have a public notice with signs, and then the administration has to send notices by mail to people. They have to put it in a newspaper if it's required. And this is their requirements on when, how many days, what they have to post, talking about the public hearings. So I don't have to do all that. It can be read by somebody else. How they approve it. Have to comply with the county, have to comply with the city, how to withdraw and reapply, how to modify when things expire. Let's see. More requirements. Who does what? Who informs who? Criteria. Okay, so we're page 20. 21. I said 19, so I guess 120. Plats. Okay, how subdivisions basically are going to be requirements for that kind of stuff. Let's see. These are for developers that want to build neighborhoods, how they have to lay them out and how they have to submit things. Ordinance violations. Okay, what is that? Let's see. Enforcement and penalties. Purpose. This article establishes procedures through which the city seeks to ensure compliance with the provisions of this ordinance and obtains corrections for violations. It also sets forth remedies and penalties that apply in 2 violations of this ordinance. Violations. Development or subdivision without permit or approval. So you can't build a neighborhood without permission and the right permits. Make lots or setbacks non-conforming. You can't interfere with public notices or deface them. This is the remedy, they can withhold permits. Stop work orders. citations. They can withhold public services. Sorry, I'm rambling again. I'm not reading it. I'm just kind of glancing through it here. So it's just kind of like what they can do if someone doesn't do what they're supposed to do as far as permits and stuff. Okay, so you can be guilty of a misdemeanor. Appeal to district court. So I guess if you build a structure in your backyard and it's not been permitted, this is just running down what the city can do. And this is okay, nonconformities. This is like things that already exist and they conformed under the old code. But when this code goes into effect, they will no longer conform to it. And this is how they're going to handle the nonconformities. Like signs, like if they change the way the signs, limitations on signs, and maybe a sign is too tall in an area, then it's going to be called nonconformity. And this section talks about how to handle those. Okay. Let me find a stopping point for tonight. So, like this one, with an effective date of this ordinance or amendment hereto, there exists a lawful use of a building, or use of principal building and land, or use of land and accessory structures, such structures covering more than 10% of the lot area, and such use would not be permitted by the terms of this ordinance or amendment hereto, such shall be deemed non-conforming and may continue subject to the following provisions. No building devoted to a non-conforming use shall be enlarged. So if you have a house and a shed, maybe another outbuilding, and it's fine in the old code, but in this code it's not, and then you want to make an addition to one of those buildings, it can't be based on the new code. As I understand it, I'm just reading the text here. Let's see. So if you have a building or land or structures on a property and you want to, they might go into non-conforming status once this is enacted, and you might not get to do an add-on depending on what it is. Let's see. Here's the sign stuff. And I can get into the sign stuff later because there's signage regulations. Which, when I read through those, I was like, Because, like, it says here, this is what I noticed. It says, other signs lawfully existing at the effective date of this ordinance, so they were already in lawful status before, or amendment hereto, but which would be prohibited by the terms of this ordinance, which means they will be unlawful after this ordinance, or amendment hereto, shall be deemed non-conforming and may continue subject to the following requirements. A sign which is non-conforming by reason of restrictions on the use of strobe or beacon lights incident thereto may continue so long as the strobe or beacon lights are removed immediately. So if you have a sign that has strobing or beacon lights, and then this amendment does not allow them, you have to turn them off. A sign which is non-conforming due to animations, flashing lights, or displays, or other reasons included in Article 8 signage regulations may continue so as long as the animations, flashing display, or other prohibited content is removed immediately. Existing signs using scrolling text may remain provided the scrolling text does not flash, pose a significant distraction to drivers, and all other conditions of Article 8 signage regulations are met. So my question is, does that include the school signs that have LED and flashing? And I mean, that was just my first question. Will it now be a non-conforming sign? Or any sign that's flashing strobe that does not meet the regulations, will it have to be turned off? Let's see, if it's damaged, up to 50% of the damage if it can't be replaced back to its non-conforming status, it shall just be removed or made to conform. Then it goes into what conforming and non-conforming lots are. I'm not going to get into details about that. It's just, I'm just trying to pull out examples so they can be kind of understood what this stuff means. Let's see. Consideration by board. I'm reading real quick. Board of Adjustment may require termination of amortize. So process to deal with non-conforming. Okay. It is clear intent of this subsection that non-conforming uses that operate unlawfully shall be considered illegal uses. Illegal uses shall not be considered non-conforming, regardless of remedial measures taken to resurrect non-conforming status. Okay. Let's see. Districts. Okay, I think this is a good ending spot. Talked a lot longer than I wanted to. Now that I know how to do this live, I'll be able to just kind of get into it. Tonight was a learning experience for us all. So Article 4 districts, this is kind of basically, it's going to go into what these are, getting into the zoning map of the city, these districts that they're talking about, what they are, what they mean, what they include, what they look like. So let's see, that's page, did I go too far? Okay, so page 33 on my PDF and page 32 as listed by the code paper. Okay, so that is a sort of quick, long-winded rundown of the comprehensive plan and kind of the beginning of the code and kind of really what things mean. Getting into the nitty-gritty of the regulations and ordinances and stuff like that we haven't even touched on yet. So hopefully I can get back here either tomorrow morning sometime, maybe. I don't think I've got anything. I really need to do some laundry. Or tomorrow night after the city council meeting. I might be getting some interesting looks tomorrow. But really, you know, I just want to, I know not a lot of people are watching right now, and this is a long video too, so I don't know if I'll ever get into this, as far as I might have to start over. But you know, my thing about this and even Conversation Catoosa, like, to me, it's just too, it's like I said earlier, you know, people are busy with their lives and they don't, you know, they know what's right in front of them and what they got to do the next day, and work and raise their kids and live in a community and hope that, you know, Walmart's open and then they can go get something to eat when they need it, and that the lights are on and the toilet flushes and the water runs, and they know that there's a bigger picture in all of it. But sometimes people don't have time for that bigger picture. But at the same time, it's, to me, it's, like I said, I always like to be informed. I've always wanted to be, I just want to know things. I want to know what's going on. I want to understand my world. And when we elect people as servants to take care of our needs, because we don't have time for that and we trust them, sometimes we have to stop and think about, okay, well, what's going on? What decisions are they making for us right now? What do they need to decide for us? Do they know how we feel about those decisions, or what we would like? You know, always, people are always like, oh, it's just a good old boy system. It's just a good old boy system. I think a lot of times it's a good old boy system is because people vote and then they go on with their lives. They don't get upset until something upsets them, and then it's the good old boy system, because the same people talk to each other. The same people that are concerned about what's going on, or that are involved in what's going on, the people that run for these offices and the people that you know, are employed by government agencies. Yeah, it's a good old boy system because the same people do all the same things. They get involved and then they just stay in the system, and they all get to know each other. And if people don't say, hey, you know, I'm not sure about this, can I understand this more, or I don't, you know, something isn't, I don't feel right with that. If the public doesn't do that, if we the people do not do that, then they don't know what we think. They just know that we voted for them, that we might have said something to them on the campaign, and hope that they just listen to us, and then we just go get on with our lives. And so, you know, I know people aren't going to get even as involved as I am, as I want to be. I mean, I feel like I don't even know the surface, and all I do is show up to city council meetings, and I find out what I can where I can about what's going on, and I know I don't know a lot of it. I have my own life too. I have kids to follow around and do things with, and sometimes I just like, okay, I'm way focused on this too much. I have to focus on my own personal life and do that, and so I know it's a balancing act, but all I want people to do is just be open to learning, to understand, that people make decisions for them, and then one day you want to do something and you can't because it's illegal or it's against the code. And then they're like, oh, well, when did that happen? So it's just like, just try to learn what you can. Just be informed as much as you can, and be willing to, question somebody. Anybody can email their city council member. They can call the city and talk to the city manager. If they feel like talking to the mayor straight up, you can. We have city council members for every area of the neighborhood, or for every area of the city, and we also have a city council member that represents the whole city. And then we have the mayor, and those two people aren't even the same person. Like, it's called city councilor at large. But the thing about it is every single one of them represent us. But you need to talk to them. You need to tell them how you feel about things. And if you don't, and I'm not saying go to the city council meetings either, I'm just trying to provide my information when I get it, and what I care about, what I'm concerned about, because I like to be informed, and sometimes I know it's a little sensationalized on Facebook. I do a lot of things just to grab people's attention, so they say, oh, what's going on? And I'm not saying, I definitely will say I'm not perfect in it. There's things that I wish I could be more informative and more involved and do more digging, but I'm ranting again, but I just don't let people make decisions for you without you being informed. If you don't care, I can't help you care, but it's okay just to learn a little bit about government, how it works. It's really not hard. It doesn't have to be a bunch of big legalese. Sometimes it's just about listening and getting down to the nitty-gritty of how you feel about something, and what freedom is about, and what your rights as the sovereign. I hate the word sovereign anymore because people take it wrong, but the Constitution was written to protect your rights, not, and sometimes people just need to be reminded of that, like, so anyway, I'm gonna stop now. Keep on ranting, keep on going on, but just we'll try to get this started back up tomorrow sometime. I might do it twice just so I can break it down into sections that are watchable. I don't know. I hope I can get this on YouTube. So anyway, I hope whoever's watched, I appreciate you hanging out with me a little bit. It's almost midnight. So, I don't know how to get off here. Anyway, everybody have a good night, and join us at the city council meeting tomorrow, and sign up to speak your piece. And if you have questions on how to do that, they will let you know. Or you can PM me. If anybody has questions about stuff, PM me. If they have information, PM me. And, you know, I'm not, if you're willing to help me find out what you want to know and talk about it, you know, let's do it. So, anyway, y'all have a lovely late night. Stay warm. And I will see you sometime tomorrow. Well, you'll see my screen at least.